I mean,
So this brings me to my argument about Ocean's 8 because I feel like, so we know Ocean's 11, great movie. I love that movie. I think it's so good. I think the storyline is so fascinating. It was like the breakout heist movie. Like after that, there was all these heist movies that came, you know, where we build a team and this whole thing.
Get away with
kind of defined the genre a little
Yes,
bit.
yeah,
Ocean's
with
11.
murder, but that's different.
Getting away with heisting.
Getting away with heisting.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I love that. I also love women. I'm a woman. I'm all about supporting women and strong women in movies.
I love where you're going with this. Anyways, go ahead.
That is exactly what I want to see. However, what I don't want to see is women shoehorned into a movie that's already been made. Because as it's been proven, sequels are never, ever as good as the first one. Now, people make the argument, whatever, Star Wars or different sequels that did well, which is fine. I think those have longer longevity because it's a series. Like, it's essentially like a TV show because there's so many Star Wars movies.
Now, I think there's a lot of examples of good sequels. I think there are good sequels.
Okay.
Toy Story
I don't think,
2.
like I said earlier, in the sense, I think it's either really good or really bad.
But the
Yes.
thing about sequels...
So there are really good sequels, but
Sure.
continue.
Mid-ground.
So let's just say it's a really good sequel. For a good sequel to happen, you have to play off of things that happened in the first movie. Right?
Otherwise, to make it a sequel, yeah.
To make it a
Yes.
sequel.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's not
Unless
at all
it's Paranormal
connected.
Activity and it's going backwards.
Yes.
Wait, what? It's going, how much further can we go
Prequel-ing.
back?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, it could be a squeakle, whatever.
Yeah.
But
Right.
I feel like I get frustrated when I see things like Ghostbusters, but it's women.
Now, see, that I
Ocean's
can get
11, but
behind.
it's women.
Really?
Go like no, like
Not
as in
liking
not
it.
liking
I'm
it.
like, you can
no, no.
get
And
behind.
so, but let me finish. Let me
okay,
finish.
go ahead, finish.
So I don't like it because it's playing off of something that's already good and made and making it now, oh, it's for women. It's like, why can't I just want to see a heist movie with women that has nothing to do with anything else? I want it to be its own original thing, its own style. Like, why does it have to be the same style and the same plot, essentially?
See, I don't know if you would.
Why?
Like,
So
so I'm in the camp of Ocean's 8 was okay.
yeah.
I thought it was all right. I thought it was, yeah, I get what you're saying, but I don't think that movie did it as explicitly as the Ghostbusters for Women movie. Did you see that movie?
I never saw it,
Just
but I heard
stupid.
it was rough.
Just stupid.
And what sucks
Because
about
it was
Legacy.
literally like refacing the characters as women. And it was like,
and it's the same plot and it's the same story.
Yes.
And I think that's what's so annoying is that I don't want that. Like, I don't want to see Rocky with a woman.
Yeah, well, what we talked about earlier, and I want to bring it up again, is I always wondered about the reboot female version of these things because again, and its own separate issue, I was privileged enough to grow up like seeing versions of myself on screen. And
Yep.
again, that's still an
Sure.
issue, and we've been talking about that all month long with Black History Month. But I'm saying, like, I wondered if you see, like, as a female, you seeing the female version of Ghostbusters, if that's as empowering to you as me growing up seeing people like guys that looked like me, and it was empowering to me. You know, again, whether or not that's fair, of course, like that's a whole other topic. But like, is it the same?
so
for
you would argue no
well,
because it's dumb, or
No,
would you?
well, I would say it's empowering to see women on screen regardless, but I think it could be so much more empowering if it was not a remake or a reboot. Like, I just want to see its own, like, for me, I love the movie Lady Bird because I think it tells a story that's original and new and fresh and entertaining with two female leads. Like,
Yep.
it doesn't have to be a remake of something else. Like, of course, I love the Ghostbusters cast, the new
They're all
women
great.
cast.
They're
They're
all
all
great.
hilarious, such great actresses. That's
Kristen
not even the
Wiig,
question.
Melissa McCarthy.
It's just the whole premise of
Honestly.
it being a remake. It's like, okay, it's never going to live up to the 80s Ghostbusters movie. Like,
Yeah.
there's too much
Of
nostalgia and you know, people, it's a cult followed movie. So it's like, why are you now trying to, I don't know, I just don't
So
like it.
maybe they're banking on the fact that
The budget.
they're like, I don't think they should, but maybe they're using a woman cast as a marketing tool more than anything.
And I think that's the
For
problem
sure.
too, is that why does it have to be a gimmick for women to be in the
Right.
movie?
Like,
Like,
but I
I
think
think
it's-
reboots have been a problem in Hollywood for.
I think that's
decades.
also a
Yes,
gimmick, right?
it's a
Is
money
like
grab.
so that just seems like a money grab in itself. Like, it's a hat on a hat. Like, the fact that they're women didn't add to the story at all. It was just Ghostbusters. Now, in the case of Ocean's 8, they even kind of address it in the movie like, oh, we're women. Like women don't even women don't get acknowledged the same way men do. Like it kind of was also
we
making
can get away with
it was kind of making a point.
And I get
too.
making a point too, like reflecting on society, like, oh, women are always put to the side. But for me, it felt kind of like a two-hit punch because I was like, I just want it to be its own thing. Like, why does it have to be a reflection of women? Why can't it just be cool
why can't
women
there
doing
be a
cool things?
Ghostbuster original,
Yes,
like in the
its
same
own
franchise,
thing.
but its own deal?
Yeah.
And maybe it's not 4 women that have the same characteristics as the original, but like 5 or 6 or 3, and like change it up entirely.
Yeah.
Have it be its own entity.
Never saw Ocean's 11.
Yeah.
I still have not seen Ocean's 11. And I watched...
Really?
Yeah, I
sorry.
watched Ocean's 8 and I loved it.
Right.
When she was saying like, oh, my brother, like referencing, like my brother, he died, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's in my blood. I loved that because that was like the good
So you
backstory.
were
It kind of was
empowered by
giving lore.
Yeah. And I liked
Were you
how
empowered by it, or were you just like, oh, this is a good movie?
that. And I was empowered because every single character that joined the team all had such different characteristics, which I don't know if in Ocean's 11 if those guys shared those same characteristics.
Basically the same. It like
I think
followed
that's the
all that
problem.
now, and that brings into account too is like you said, Oceans developed the genre like to a T, like all the tropes, like, okay, we got to like bring in a team. So we've got a hacker and we've got a gymnast and we've got a guy that's good at disguises. Like all of that is like the same in Oceans.
But
But
that's
isn't
just
that-
it, is that movie was made with a cast of men. There can be something new. And it's happening every single day. New content is getting made every single day. Why can't something else define a genre and have it be women?
Yeah,
Like,
I agree. I think you're riding on the coattails of a franchise by calling it that. Now, if they'd taken the same exact movie and rebranded it in a different wrapping of like the title was different, the marketing was different, and they weren't banking on this historical thread line between this franchise, I think it could have been just as impactful and it could have been its own thing.
Do
Maybe.
you want to see The Godmother?
Yes.
The Godfather's
Of course
made.
I do.
You want to see this old lady that sits in a chair with cotton in her mouth?
More
that says,
than anything. Wait.
I don't want
More
that.
than anything do I want to see that.
Does it ruin
I don't
The
need that.
Godfather?
I think it
I
just
don't need
becomes
Betty
its own
White as,
thing.
like, the-
That doesn't.
Betty
But
White.
that's
That would be
Right?
the casting.
that's
Okay,
a little
well, never mind, I
separated
do want that.
enough. That's separated enough that like that would become its own thing.
It's not.
The
It's
women
same
being
thing.
the Ghostbusters, not really its own thing.
It's the same thing.
The women doing the heist for Oceans,
Same
kind
exact
of its own thing.
They literally, the first couple minutes of the movie is referencing Ocean's 11. It's like,
Yeah.
we're making
Which
the
I
same
needed
movie,
because
but
I never
with-
saw Ocean's
Which
11.
they have
Which
to.
you gotta watch
I
Ocean's
mean,
11.
they're
I
just
mean,
lore. They're
it's
like
so-
world building, right?
You can't
Like,
even like, in my opinion, you can't even compare the two because Ocean's 11 is such a good movie.
It's so good.
That anything else that's trying to be it again, like specifically Ocean's 11 with the same lore and everything,
Yeah.
it's never gonna live up to this.
They
It's the
definitely did it
sequel's
for
curse.
the.
It's the
They definitely
sequel's
did
curse.
it because
Yeah.
of the box office
Yeah.
money. Because
And I think
Sure,
that's
you
what
get a
makes
bigger
it sad.
budget.
I mean, the movie
That's
did
what's
great.
so sad is that it has to be proven that women can make good movies, like can
Yeah.
sell out box office. It's like really
Yeah.
like